Hello class, this is the third component of your Origami Studio and we're going to be working towards complexity today and getting ready for your summative project. So far you have learned these three basic forms, the cup, the organ, and the crane, and now we are going to experiment with some more complex forms. So before you start working with complex forms, warm up by practicing your three basic forms. You can use a small sheet of paper and just quickly fold the cup, organ, and crane. Look back at the tutorials if you need them, and this is to kind of get your brain back into that origami mindset and also kind of wake up that idea of squashing and creating pockets and those things. So we're going to focus mostly on traditional complex forms at first. They are forms that begin with a square and use one sheet of paper. And we're using this specific website, origamiinstructions.com, as a resource. You can also Google other websites for directions and video tutorials. There are thousands of them out there, thousands of tutorials on YouTube. But this is a very good basic site for beginners, and I'm going to teach you how to navigate around it, both in the slides, and then also I will actually go to the site and show you what it looks like towards the end of the presentation. So basic navigation, things to know. On the site there is this part that says origami base folds. When you click on that, you get the bases. So if your directions say start with a water bomb base, click on there, or a square base, or the fish base, or the bird base. That way you will know exactly what to start with and go here, fold that base, and then go back to your module. Sometimes your directions will tell you to do a specific type of fold, like a book and cupboard, or a sink, or a squash. You know that one. This is where the folds are. Click on here and it will explain the fold. And then here is techniques. So, for example, divide your paper into thirds, how to do that, divide it into fifths. Those are more advanced things, but they show you step by step how to do them. Okay? So to find that, you're on the main page and you go to origami base folds, click on that, and it will take you here where they list all the bases, all the folds, and all the techniques. So you're going to start out today with learning a simple form. And because I'm not walking you through this, you need to learn how to read and understand the directions on your own. Now, if you are here face to face, I will help you. If you're at home, I will still try to help you if you contact me, but it will be a little bit more difficult. But we're going to start off with these simple forms. So on the website, go to Simple Origami and click on that. And there are about 50 choices over here on the side menu of simple forms. So try a few forms. Some of these are incredibly just one or two folds to it. Try a few of them, and then one that you figure out and are good at, that's one of the things that you're going to turn in. Then, after you have got that down, you're going to go to a more complex form. So on the main menu, more complex forms are listed by subject matter, like airplanes and animals and birds, all of these things here on the side. There's more stuff under here, but stop around holiday. And a lot, these last three, the wedding, or dollar bill, and holiday, are more arrangement based or using an odd shape rather than a square. But go ahead and try them if you like. Explore the categories, try some complex forms, and when I show you the site itself, you will see that in the different categories, these complexer forms are ranked, and some of them will say easy, so maybe start there and then work your way to something harder. When you get one that you're good at, You're going to photograph it and upload it. So these are some complex forms from previous classes. We have a monkey, and actually you can make a chain of these monkeys and they can hang from each other. There used to be an old game called Barrel Monkeys that's kind of based on. This is an owl. You can see his wings, his face, his little owl horns, his feet. An elephant. This is one of the dragon forms. And then we have T-Rexes. It's the same T-Rex mold, but they're in opposite directions, and one's a little longer, one's a little taller. Down here you see a little tiny rabbit. So modular origami is what you're going to try after that. So you try a simple one, then you do a complex one, and now you try modular. And this is made by connecting simple forms. So you just make a simple origami and then you make many of those, and they connect to make a large one. And again, you will see some of them are easier than others, but this is where it's located on the instructions page. It's modular origami. So underneath those that you tried before, underneath Kirigami, which is something different, is the modular origami. And here is some student work from the modular origami. And again, you can use a different website if you want. You could do something less complicated than these if you want. The water lilies, this is when they were new. You see the battered one is up at the top of the room. Here is one of the changing pinwheels. This is a flower that's similar to the water lilies. A tulip, which is a two-piece modular that still counts. The top part is one fold, the leaf is another one, and then the star that has lots of folds. So this assignment, you have complex forms, and what you're going to turn in is, from previous slides, one of the simple origami forms that you can do independently, one complex origami form that you have learned independently, and a modular origami form that you have learned independently. And over here on the right is a really kind of cute example of some of the simple and complex forms. You have the chair, the table, and a panda. Okay, Summative Studio project. This is to be thinking about. I will give you more information in the next, in its own slideshow. But you are working towards being able to create something for your summative, and you will have a choice for that. You can make multiple sizes of a crane, at least 5 sizes. You can make multiples of a simple origami form from the instructions on the origamiinstructions.com. You can make a perfect complex form or a perfect modular form and photograph and turn in. But that's looking ahead just so you can start thinking about your options as you are folding these. Now let's look at that origami instruction site. So here's the origamiinstructions.com. There will be a lot of pop-ups. Just hit the X's to close all these random ads. And this is the landing page. It's very old school. Over here, the origami base folds. Click on those. Let's ignore this. And these are the bases. So when you look at these, I already told you about these pop-ups. If you're looking at something like the frog base, you click on it, and they have a video tutorial of how to do it. Remember, slow it down if it goes too fast, or you can look at this tutorial. Now, the thing about the frog base is when you start, you're starting with the square base, which is the small diamond step that we did on the bird. Okay? If you need to know what the square base is, Then you just go back to bases and say, okay, well, I got to start with the square base. Let's click here. And there will be thousands of pop-ups that you get rid of. Least favorite thing ever. Here's the video for it. And then here are the directions to make that square base. Okay? If you are looking for, let's go back. We have the bases. Here are the folds, inside out and reverse. You have the video, and then you have it in pictures as well. Techniques dividing paper into thirds is a little trickier than if we just divide it into halves or quarters or even numbers, because you can just do that by folding. All right, so that's where the bases are. Now let's go back to the main page. And when you are working on your simple form, you go over here and see the third one down. It says Simple Origami. Click on that. And there are all these options and all these pop-ups, all the options. And here are pictures of them if you want to see what they look like. And let's go to something like the hat. The hat's pretty easy. Click on the link to open it. I'm sure there'll be ads. Here is video. And here are the directions. Okay, and you just go step by step. And look, there's some, they're all cute. I don't want to know what that is. Tiny hats, etc. All right, now complex forms. We're going to go back to the main page. The complex forms are under here by grouping. There are, rid of these ads, thousands of ads everywhere. Airplanes, animals, birds, boxes, cranes, flowers, hearts, stars, toys, blah, blah, blah. So let's look at animals. And you have all these animals over here to choose from. And to figure out what to start with, let me reload this because that ad got weird. Okay, here we are. Okay, you can see them. And you can see that there are a few different forms of each one. Let's go to dinosaur. You start with the bird base. You guys know the bird base. And then just follow it step by step. If your computer is being glitchy and taking forever to load, which mine is doing right now, just refresh the page, refresh your browser, and continue on. For the modular origami, go to modular origami, click there. And there are the pictures, where the pictures of the different types. And look over here. It will say if there are easy ones. And just scroll down. There's your base for it. This is for a spinner. And you construct it. And that's how you put it together. All right. So this is doable. Just be patient with the website. If you have the pop-up ads, if it's blocking images and things, just kind of ignore them. This does work on through the school internet at school. It's not blocked. So go ahead and try it out and let me know how it goes. All right.